says I'm live. Hopefully I am. We'll have to see though. I do want to say there seems to be a significant lag. So hopefully this is working out because I'm looking at the window that's on my laptop and all the stuff that I did it like 30 seconds ago. So hopefully the volume on the microphone is okay. It's not too loud. Let me grab my headphones and see. Yeah, that's right. I got headphones. I'm big time. Yeah, it could be a little more quiet. Maybe I'll just back up a little bit. There we go. I think I can actually turn down the gain of this. Let's see. Testing. Testing. Is that better? Better. Testing. Testing. All right, that sounds okay. That sounds good. Oh, maybe I'll leave these on. No, I'll take them off. Okay. So one of the reasons that I went live, just for the fun of it, why not, right? Nothing else to do in the time of the pandemic. But I wanted to go over a few things. First of all, the last video that I did was a review of the toner microphone, the TC777, and that was a giveaway video. And this seems to always happen to me. I do a giveaway, and the people that won don't get back to me with their information, their name, their shipping address. So if you're the winner, I have the name written down somewhere. Great Moblaze, you won that microphone. And the reason that I chose you for the winner was because you gave this great explanation about how you were encouraging your daughters to use it, to do their YouTube videos, and also to use it for their online school. So if you could please send me your information in your original comment, I put my email address. So if you could go ahead and put, let me know what your shipping address is because I want to get this microphone out to you. I think the sooner that your girls get it, the better. So, and by the way, I sent you a message too. If you don't send it to me by 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, unfortunately, I'm going to have to give it away to somebody else because I don't want it hanging around and I really want people to make good use of it while they can. Okay. And my thing is way freaking behind. So hopefully it's not going to be too much of a problem. So I see everyone is saying hello. Hello to you guys. We got Cookie's Crib. What's up, Cookie's Crib? Big Baby Productions. Dan Jensen. Hi. Oh, from Denmark. Hello, Denmark. From Brazil. Hello, Brazil. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Nothing really big. I just wanted to touch on a few things because I don't know if you guys were watching the Luma Fusion channel on YouTube. It's called Luma Touch. And if you're not subscribed to that channel, you really should because they always come out with great videos letting you know some of the updates that they're doing. You get to meet the developers and just release things every now and then. So I'm subscribed to their channel. They've been having summits. So for the past 2 weeks, they've been doing live summits with a lot of the creators that use Luma Fusion. And I watch them, because I use Luma Fusion and I'm interested in everything that they're doing. So I like to watch their channel. So during this this summit, my friend who is Bad Karma, his name is Anthony. Anthony's writing, and I never like to jump on the comment thread too much because I don't want them to feel like I'm hijacking their thread. Like if I see a question that somebody asked and I know the answer, I'll answer the question for them, but I'm not there to, try to poach anybody. That's not what I'm about. So Anthony was saying I think it was Terry that was running it the week before last week. And he's like, oh, you should have Tammy on. I text Anthony. I'm like, Anthony, what are you doing? Stop it. No. Like, I do not belong on that creator summit. They have like people like Henny the Business was on there. Justine was on there. Like full on journalists and cinematographers were on there. I don't belong there. I'm a casual user of Luma Fusion. These people are like next level professional, awesome. I don't belong there with them. So I'm like, Anthony, what are you doing? It's probably Anthony texting me right now. So, yeah, if you guys have not already subscribed to that channel, you really should because they have really good updates. They let you know what's going on. And during those summits, you do learn a lot of good tips and tricks. One of the tips that I learned last week from Lenore Suarez, who is a journalist, and she was covering the pandemic that's happening now in Spain. Of course, they've been hit very badly too. I don't think as badly as we've been hit. Our country is just a mess, unfortunately. But she gave some really good tips that I thought were wonderful. So if you're missing out on those summits, you guys should go ahead and subscribe to that channel. This way you can stay on top of it. Another thing that I wanted to mention. So a lot of you are asking me for tutorials with Affinity Photo. So here's the thing. You don't need me. I found a really wonderful channel called, her name is Bethany Acorn. She's great. I love her. She's very talented. She knows what she's doing with Affinity Photo. Now, I have been subscribed to her for a very long time. And what she was doing was pretty much what everybody else was doing with Luma Fusion tutorials. They were just doing screen record. So they would record their screen and just voice over the tutorial. Now, when I was learning LumaFusion and watching these different channels doing this, it was frustrating for me because I couldn't follow along with the screen record. It was very difficult. And I thought, it'd be so much nicer and just easier to follow along if somebody could not screen record, but put an overhead camera on their iPad. It would just make it so much easier to follow along. And my girlfriend said to me, well, why don't you do that? Why don't you make a channel where you do that? And I was like, well, I guess I could. So that's kind of the whole genesis of why I started the channel, because I couldn't follow along with screen records. So anyway, Bethany's channel, she always did screen record. I would say in the past 2 months, she has now started doing overhead camera, which is absolutely amazing. You see everything that she's doing. She knows all the in and outs of Affinity Photo. So if you're in, and by the way, one of my next ones, because she hasn't done a video on this yet, how to make your own LUTs in Affinity Photo, which is really good because you can bring them in and use them in LumaFusion. So that's going to be one of my future videos. But if you're looking just for tips and trying to understand what Affinity Photo is, really go to Bethany's channel. Once again, it's Bethany Acorn, like the thing that falls off the tree, acorn. Check her out. And it was so funny because when she did her channel, she didn't even do voiceovers. It was just literally screen record. And you can follow along with these amazing pictures that she did. The girl's just raw talent. So finally, when she does the overhead camera and she starts speaking and you can look at her hands, I thought it was like a full-on woman. If this girl is like 22, I would be shocked. So it's a young lady and her channel's awesome. So please, please check her out. So let's check out some of the... Hey, all right. Tim Windsor is in the chat. Hi, Tim. Thank you for joining me. Nice to see you. Hi from Puerto Rico. Hello, Puerto Rico. How are you guys doing in Puerto Rico? I hope everything is okay. Bad Karma and I just found out we're local, huh? Yep, Bad Anthony, he texts me all the time. He's so funny. Thank you, Tim. He's so funny. He's always watching my videos and giving me thumbs up and telling everybody to thumbs up. Thank you, Tim. That's awesome. So one of the people, look, another reason why I felt weird about doing the Luma Touch Summit was because not only like these people are full-on professionals, journalists, cinematographers, but I don't know if they've asked people that I know are really into LumaFusion, like Rob. Is Rob going to be there? Because if anybody should be in one of the summits, I think it should be Rob HK. I think he's done a real service for LumaFusion. He's done more videos about LumaFusion than probably LumaFusion. So hopefully they do invite Rob, because that would be amazing. Of course, MVE, Menanchal VE, which was previously mobile video editing. He's the guy that I did my first live with, which was an absolute mess, but it was a disaster. But you know what? I'm leaving it up there because it was hysterical to go back and watch. He should be on there. The Everyday Dad. He is always talking about LumaFusion. So hopefully they could get people like that. I know people that are not as big as iJustine. She's got millions of people. They had her on as a guest talking about LumaFusion and how she uses it. But I think, people like that. I don't think I'm there yet. I don't use it enough. I use it for personal stuff and some local gigs here, but not I would say not anything on a commercial level or professional level. So I would much rather see a slot go to someone like that. Yeah, they should pay Rob HK. They probably should, because he does do a lot of video. But, you know, Rob, he does sell a lot of their things. So he makes transitions for LumaFusion and the LUTs and other stuff that he does. And then he sells it. So maybe, I don't know if that's something they don't care for, that someone is making money off that platform. I don't know if that bothers them or not. Like all the stuff that I do for LumaFusion, I wind up just giving it away. Like it's normally just attached in my description. I've made a few LUTs, a few transitions. I can't remember everything I've done, but I've just left it for free in my box because I really don't have an interest in making money off of that. It wouldn't make sense to me to do that. So, okay, someone asked me last time what I use as far as my gear setup. And of course, I'm using the Canon M50 that I always use. Now, the thing about the Canon M50 is technically they don't have a clean HDMI. So what a clean HDMI is when you get your camera to go live into your computer, there's always that box in the middle of the screen. That's the focus box. There's only one way to get rid of that, and that, well, not one way. There's several ways. You can buy a program. I think Ecamm Live might get rid of that box, but you can also use the Elgato Cam Link. And so that's what I purchased, the Elgato Cam Link. It was like $100 when I got it. It might be a little bit more expensive now because I find, you know, everything that is involved with live streaming right now, they've really significantly raised the price of everything. And I understand, you know, supply and demand. If there's a demand for it, you're going to raise the prices of it. But some things are just absolutely getting crazy. It's insane. So, okay. Blue Lady. Hello, my first time your live stream. Glad to make it. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you very much. And like I said, just to let you guys know, there is a little bit of a delay. So I'm talking to you right now. I'm looking at my live box and I can see things that I've done, I would say maybe a minute ago. So well, no, maybe that's not fair. Maybe not a minute ago, maybe more like 30 or 40 seconds ago, but it's not great. So I don't know if it's on my end. I'm sure it's just probably YouTube because everyone's going live. I mean, there was a lot of people that were live today. I got off Olufemi. I don't know if you guys know, if you guys know his channel, Olufemi. He's really great creator, and he uses, of course, the Adobe Cloud. And what I do when I watch other people, this is how I get my ideas for videos. I watch other creators and see what they're doing in Adobe. And what I do is I screen record whatever it is that I like off their videos. And then I have it there in my iPad. And then I go into LumaFusion and then I try to duplicate it as best I can. Like there's so many different lower thirds and different title things that are not already set in LumaFusion that I love, that I've made for myself personally to use for other things. So I think, you know, I don't know if I can get in trouble for screen recording somebody else's video and just showing like a quick snippet of it. This way, when I go to do my tutorials, I'm saying, okay, this is where I got the inspiration from. This way you guys can see how close we got to it, how capable LumaFusion is to duplicating things that you can do in Premiere. Hi, Paolo. You're in Canada? How are you guys doing in Canada? It's terrible what's going on here, I tell you. So I live in New Jersey, and of course, we're like the second worst state because we're right by New York, and New York just had that horrible outbreak. And I feel like a lot of people I know already had coronavirus because they seem to have a lot of these same symptoms, but in late 2019. So I think this thing has been here for a long time, circulating for a very long time. So, oh, wait a minute. Please don't send me any money. I just see somebody sent me money. Dan Jensen, thank you. But please, you guys, please don't send me any money because I don't know where it goes or how to get it. Or like I signed up for AdSense to monetize my channel and they sent me my PIN like 2 months ago. I've never gotten around to actually doing all that. Like, I'm still making money. I'm sure it's still all in there, but I appreciate you, Dan. Gosh, I feel so bad. Thank you, Dan. Is there some way you can take it, like, can you take it back? Or I feel so bad. Dan, thank you very much. And I'm sure that's in your Dutch, is it Dutch money? I don't even know what that would be. Dan, thank you. But you guys, please do not send me, please don't send me any money. I thank you, though. I appreciate it. Oh, you live in West New York? Okay. You're on a farm. I am very jealous. I wish I lived on a farm because I would love to just be out there and making videos and creating and catching scenery. Right now, I don't know if they're closed in New York, but the state parks are all closed here in New Jersey, which I think was a huge mistake because it's outside. If you ask everyone to socially distance, they will. If you ask everyone to wear a mask, they will. So I think that was a huge mistake that they shut the parks down. I think it's, you know, especially there's several huge apartment complexes that are around here. And I think that kids being cooped up in small apartments, that's no good. They need to get out and run. So I really feel like they should not have closed the parks. I think that was a really bad choice. Hi, Crazy Sid. What a name. Are you named after Sid Vicious? Okay, so I wanted to let you know I watched a tutorial from Carla at Real Chicks TV. It was how to do your own haircut. So I went and I did it. I cut my own hair, and it's so funny because it was just basically like a ponytail that you pull right to the very top of your forehead, almost like a unicorn ponytail, and then you just snip it right across, and then you hollow out the middle with the scissors, and that's how did it come out, guys? My first little homemade haircut. Look good. It's funny because my brother, he texted me, my brother Derek, and he's like, I look like a caveman. You've got to come help me. You've got to come cut my hair. So I brought my little kit there, but I didn't tell my brother, hey, like, this is the what do you call them? The buzzers. These are the buzzers that I use to cut my cat's hair. So I just went over there and I gave my brother a haircut at his shop. Tim. Yeah, okay, thanks, Tim. Thanks for that because I didn't know. Like I said, they sent me the information with my PIN, but I haven't set it up. Like I didn't call in with the PIN. I just haven't gotten around to it. I guess I will do it. But yeah, thanks to Dan. I feel so bad that he sent me money. So in case you're just joining, please don't send me any money. No super chats or whatever that is because it's I don't need it. If I needed it, I would take it. Thank you, but I don't need it, but thank you. Maybe give it to somebody else. I feel so bad. Thank you very much, though, Dan. That was awesome. Yep, that's how many hairdressers do. Really? It's funny because the girl that normally cuts my hair is my next door neighbor. And she does a really good job with cutting my hair. She's always really busy, so I don't want to bother her. And I don't know how she's feeling about the social distancing thing right now. I'm not sure if she's leery about it because she said she would still cut her hair, but I feel weird about asking her to come to the house. So this is the first time I did it. Like in between cuts when she does it, I will sometimes trim up my bangs and I do a really bad job. And she lets me know it. She's like, I can tell you were at it. I have to fix a lot here. I got to even a lot out. I'm like, sorry. Did I ever finish it? See, this is what happens. I jump from one thing to another. Okay, so my setup for my live streaming. I have the Canon M50, which I then have plugged into my what the heck? My Elgato cam link. I take that Elgato cam link and I put it inside of a USB port. That's it. It's made by Anchor, and it has a bunch of different USB ports. This way, when I plug in my microphone, because right now I'm using my blue microphone into a USB port. What I had to do to get this into my laptop is to plug it into the Blue Icicle. So that Blue Icicle is supporting the 48 volts of phantom power into this microphone, and that's why I'm able to use this directly into my laptop. It looked like we kind of had a hiccup on the system. Are we okay? What time is it here? I don't know. Hold on. that was probably unprofessional to leave the stream, but it's 8:50 here where I am. So it's almost 9 o'clock. It's a little late, but I'm not going to stay on very long. So Mike, hey Mike, how are you? Mike, you were at the, you saw those two summits by Luma Fusion, right? You were at both sessions? I think you were there. Bee lady. Yep. Thanks, Tim. You're so funny. It's weird when you start doing something when you're working or you get swept up in something and you don't have to wake up at a specific time, you stop looking at your watch. There's only one time during the day where I'm really checking my watch, and that's, I would say, right around 4:30 p.m. Like I have that just natural built-in alarm clock, 4:30 p.m., because I have to start looking for my mailman to, call in to make sure orders get out. And that's basically, I mean, I can sleep in as late as I want, but then if I sleep in as late as I want, I have to stay later at work to make sure I'm getting everything done that I need to get done, because it's just absolutely crazy busy for my company right now, because while everyone is busy doing nothing, everyone is sheltered in place, quarantined, staying home. I own a skincare company, and the only reason that we're even like allowed to stay in place right now is because something just happened to my picture. I'm not really sure what happened here, but it says, like, the box on YouTube just said, yeah, it's camera gone. I don't know why. Mind focus. This is a problem. This is a big problem. There we go. Okay, so you know what happened? This camera has a built-in thing. So like after 25 minutes of being on, it automatically shuts down. So every now and then I have to hit the shutter button to make it stay awake, and I've totally forgotten to do that. So that's what happened. And now it's so funny because I just looked and now I'm fixing the focus, and I just did that like 45 seconds ago. So that's crazy. You're still working too every day? Okay. Oh, Tim, what do you do for a living? Thank you, Haley. Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate it. You know, I just try to make videos on things that I wish I could have watched videos on when I was first learning Luma Fusion. And how I even found Luma Fusion was, so like I said, I own a skincare company, and I was making instructional videos for my products, talking about each one of the individual products and, what are the active ingredients in there and why are they so good? Why do they make you look young and all that? And I wanted them to look really nice. And in my mind, I'm like, I need to do something where I'm like standing in front of a green screen, and I need to have something awesome superimposed right in back of me. And I don't know why I had this idea of a green screen so stuck in my head, but I absolutely did. I was like, that's it. I need a green screen. That's what I'm doing. That's what I need. I bought like the whole green screen kit. It was insane what I went through to do this green screen. And I was originally going to use iMovie to do all of the editing for those videos. But back then, iMovie did not have an option for chroma key. You couldn't do green screen with iMovie back then. So I was like, okay, well, what can I use that's going to allow this green screen that I have in my mind to happen? And I came upon a channel called Zed Pro Media, and he did a great instructional on how to do green screen within Luma Fusion. Of course, that's Lee's channel, Lee Zavitz, and he changed the name of that channel now to Lee Zavitz, but it used to be Zed Pro Media. And if not for that stupid, crazy idea, which was a total mistake, by the way, I should never have done green screen shots. If not for that crazy idea, I may never have even ever found Luma Fusion, because if I was just doing traditional videos, I would have just stayed with iMovie. So it just happened to be good luck that I was looking for a green screen editor and stumbled upon that one. So that was it. I started watching other channels on how to do everything. I was like, okay, how can I do split screen? How do I, do a title? What's up with transitions? Do I need transitions? Oh, I'd like to put a little music. Like every little thing, every video I've ever made, I've watched someone else's channel to see how they made it, months and months before. And I learned a lot. You learn a lot by watching other people's work, other people's channels, other people's tutorials. But at the end of the day, I was always like, I really wish that somebody would use that overhead camera. I just think it would be so much nicer to follow along, just to see, where their hands are going and what they're doing and what they're pressing. And that's why I decided to start my channel. But yeah, I absolutely enjoy making those videos. And now it's the next few videos that I have in mind are a little more in-depth and technical, because these are things that I wanted to create within LumaFusion that cannot be done right now within LumaFusion. But if you do workarounds and you put work into it, you can make these really amazing effects. So, unfortunately, a lot of times people don't want to put the work in and they get mad, like my glitch effect in LumaFusion. A lot of people, the messages I get on there are just, this is so much work, and oh my gosh, what, why would you want to put this much work in it? Because I enjoy it. It's fun. And listen, it's a $30 app. It's an amazing piece of software. If you think about it, for $30, everything that you're getting in there is incredible. And everything that you create, all the different templates, all the lower thirds, you can save them all within LumaFusion. So they're right there for you to grab and take. It's just, if you invest that little bit of time, and half the time I wind up just leaving templates for the stuff that I do anyway. So let me answer some of the questions here, because, hi, Outdoors in Maryland. How are you guys doing? How old am I? I'm very old. I'm in my late 40s. Thank you. Yes, I like the overhead camera too. I think it's so much easier to follow along. Okay, which iPad do you recommend? I get to switch to LumaFusion. I now use a MacBook Pro. So I think that they said in the last summit, someone said that there is support for LumaFusion with the MacBook Pros, but I think that's sending it directly to them. I don't know because I don't have a MacBook. I'm not a Mac person. I have a desktop that I use for work, and this laptop that I have right here, it's an HP, and I only really use it to live stream. So I don't know if you could use a MacBook with Luma. I'm sure you could send it over and use that as your monitor, but of course everyone's going to say they recommend the newest iPad. But even when I purchased, so let me say, when I bought my first good real iPad, it was the first iPad Pro, and it was the 9 point something version, 9.5-inch version. It was like 256 gigabytes, and I paid almost $800 for it. And the reason that I bought that was because it had the 4K camera on. Oh, that's another thing. That's what I used to make my videos with the green screen. I filmed everything on my iPad. I didn't have a camera. I didn't have anything. I just used my iPad for everything. So I was filming on my iPad, and then I was editing LumaFusion with the iPad. So the workflow was all right there on the iPad. And the iPad that I use now, that you'll see in my tutorials with the overhead camera, that is the iPad Pro Generation 2. And that is, it's one of the ones that's a 12-inch model, and it's 256 gigabytes. And I purchased it used because I felt like at the time, the newer one was out, and they were looking for, I think it was like $900 to get that new iPad. And I just didn't, you guys don't know me, but I am a girl who pinches a penny. And I think it's smart to do, because right now, if the whole world shut down for, a few months, I can still pay my bills, because I live very frugally. I don't hardly spend any money. I don't even have a car payment. I drive a 2002 Toyota Avalon. I bought it cash, and my brother's a mechanic, so if anything ever goes wrong with it, of course they fix it for me. But yeah, that's how I live. I don't have credit card debt. I don't, You know, everything I have, I buy with, if I don't have cash to buy it, I don't buy it. And I don't know if it's a Polish thing, but it seems to be like a lot. That's how a lot of my family is. We're the very same way. We don't spend a lot of money on things. Don't have a lot of things. Like buying cameras and lenses and the new laptop to do the live stream. I bought it. It was like $600. I'm like, do I really need it? Yeah, I did need it. If I could have gotten away with not buying this thing, I wouldn't have. But I would say, you know, out of like the past few years, this is probably the most money that I've spent on stuff for myself, because I don't normally spend money on myself. I just don't buy things. I just don't. Oh yeah, so it's a funny story. So I used to work at a video store when I was much younger, when I was a teenager. So that's a long time ago. And, you know, no one ever really paid that much attention to me because I was just a regular person. But when Sandra Bullock made Speed, when that movie came out, that changed my life, because for some reason we do look similar. And everyone would always double take, like, wow, you look just like that girl from that movie with the bus. And my mother used to get the biggest kick out of it. Whenever we'd go out together, she'd be like, come on, Sandra. And like people would look. Or one time we were traveling to Europe, my mother and I. We were going back to Poland, to the motherland. And this lady was looking at me. And my mother could tell that she was whispering something to her husband. And she's like, I think she thinks you're Sandra Bullock. So I can't remember exactly what my mother said. But she's like, Sandra, now when we get in there, if any fans come up, you know, I will handle them, you know, with the autograph situation. And the woman was like freaking out. Like she seriously thought I was Sandra Bullock, but clearly I wasn't. Okay. Yeah, so I appreciate it. It really is a huge, you know, it's nice to say when people say you look like a celebrity. It's nice. I'll probably never get that again. Although a couple people now have told me Melania Trump. Like they think I look like Melania Trump, which it's not as appealing as Sandra Bullock. Let me just say that. For obvious reasons. Yeah, so shout out to Carla from Real Chicks TV. So ladies, if you're out there and you are having the haircut issue too, you can't get your hair cut because my dead ends, oh, they were so bad. My dead ends were so bad. I said, I can't take it. I can't take it. So fortunately, Carla released that tutorial on how to cut your own hair. So if you're looking for a way, I would say it's foolproof. Like if you can't do this haircut, you can't do anything. That's how simple it is. Go to Real Chicks TV and she teaches you how to do the haircut. And it is nice and simple and easy. But the thing is, if you prefer longer bangs, maybe pull them separate, because I think my bangs might be just a little too short. Oh, I sound like Melania? She has a very unique accent because she's from Transylvania. So she's got that weird accent. But yeah, I like Sandra Bullock better. So in case anybody is out there that knows the contest winner, who was Great Mo Blaze, she won that microphone I did the review on. She's not sent me her information. I need to get this microphone out. I don't know what it is with people. Why they write messages in that they're going to win something, and then they never send me their information. Why? Why does that happen? Wouldn't they be all over it? Like, oh my gosh, I won. I want to get my stuff. Here's my address. Please send it to me, stat. You'd be amazed how many people they linger. They just, I guess they don't need it, or they really don't care, I guess. But, you know, I really wish that they would get Brandon Lee for the summit, for the Luma Touch Summit, because that guy is absolutely amazing. One of his newest videos, if you don't have a camera and you're only creating with your iPhone, which is awesome, the newest iPhone, I'm telling you, the quality out of that is absolutely amazing. And if you mix that in with Filmic Pro, I mean, he did this video, you guys, I could not tell that it was from a phone. You know, there's other people that create with their phone and you're like, yeah, it doesn't really look like, but it kind of does. You can tell it's a phone. He made this video. It was absolutely amazing. And I think he has the newest iPhone. But if you're only using your iPhone, go check out Brandon Lee's channel. And it's Lee, L-I. That's how he spells his last name. And he makes the most incredible content. He's like the godfather of the gimbal. He does all of these amazing transitions. If you're ever stuck on what to do with creating video, if you're running out of ideas or you wish you could, sort blend your things together better, not transitions, but there's some other word I'm looking for that just completely escapes me right now, or just any ideas on what to do for video, check out his channel. There is just, every video has so many different transitions and just different, I mean, it is absolutely amazing what this guy can do. And when you watch it, it looks very complicated, but it's the simplicity of it. It's matching colors and just transition to transition and the textures of, it's just absolutely amazing how this guy makes video. So once again, his name is Brandon Lee. And Lee is just L-I, Lee. Okay, so any questions? Does anybody have any questions that they would like to ask me? Because I would love to answer some questions. Because I pretty much touched on everything. For those of you who don't know, I'm going to go ahead and write it in here. Check out Bethany Acorn's channel because she's amazing. Okay, so if you guys are interested in affinity photo, check out Bethany Acorn because she really does. Yeah, Brandon Lee. So let me spell out his name, Brandon. He is absolutely amazing. Everything that he does is super cool. I just love, and the way that he tells a story, anybody can get great footage. Anybody can have an amazing camera and put together little bits of video and make something nice. It's a talent to put things together the way that he does. It is just, the storytelling is just beautiful and amazing. And a good word for him, if I could just say one word, it would be seamless. And when you go to watch his channel, you'll understand what I mean because it's just absolutely amazing. You're welcome, Bee Lady. My pleasure. Outdoors in Maryland, you're very welcome. Yeah, does anybody want to see any tutorials coming up? And have you ever tried any of the desktop editing apps? No. Well, is that true? Let me think. When I was initially before I found LumaFusion, I used iMovie. I used, what's the one that it looks like a wheel? Their interface is just like a circle. It was kind of difficult to follow. And there's another one that I want to say, no, does it start with an? It's been so long since I used them because I used them briefly. And then when I found LumaFusion, there was no looking back. I was like, I felt like I came home for the holidays. I'm like, this thing is awesome. LumaFusion beat them all. It was absolutely amazing. There are a few good desktop editors that are free. I think like DaVinci Resolve is free. Very complicated, complex. But if you know what you're doing, it's free. I mean, heck, it's free. Okay. What, am I blushing so much? Oh, you know what? Okay, so here's the thing. Here's a tip to my ladies. When you go under studio lights, that washes out a lot of your makeup. So when you are exposed to a light that's not a studio light, normally when I do my makeup for videos, I have to add a lot of makeup on so that you can even see it. But there's something about, this is not my normal studio light. This is just like a little flat panel light that is right here. And it's diffused, but diffusion is not so great with a little flat panel. I just literally have diffusion material on it. And I may have overdone it with the makeup because I'm so used to caking on makeup when I'm under my studio light. So I'm not really blushing. That's probably why. It's just a little too much makeup. Thanks for pointing that out. KineMaster. Yes, that's the one with the circular interface that I didn't care for it. Because to me, there is really nothing like LumaFusion. That is just amazing. There's so much in there that you can do. And like I said, it's not only just the interface that they've made amazing. It's the fact that you can do so much in there, like making your own transitions, like making your own lower thirds and all this other stuff. It's really great. It says, okay, so I'm answering a question. On your tutorials, I notice you do not show the after product looks. Could you do that, please? Okay. Yeah. So, it's been so long. So I don't know, Bee Lady, if you've been here from the beginning since I started the live stream, but I own a skincare company, and we are shelter in place like you guys are in New York, and a lot of my town is shut down, and there's no hand sanitizer to be found anywhere. So I had the raw ingredients to make hand sanitizer. I'd never made it before. I literally just Googled hand sanitizer recipe, and I printed it off, and it was like 2 a.m. I couldn't sleep because this was all happening. And I kept thinking to myself, what can I do? How can I help people? I want to be able to help people. This was even before we were in shelter in place. I did this. And it came to me. I'm like, oh, I can make hand sanitizer. That's something I don't have masks. I'm not a nurse. Like, what can I do to help my countrymen? And I'm like, that's what I can do. I can make hand sanitizer, because it was already not on the shelves anywhere. So 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm in my lab making this hand sanitizer. Then you have to let it sit inside of an oven to make sure that it passes microbial testing, which of course all of it was made with alcohol, so it's hardly any microbes in there, but you have to allow it to pass the assay test, which means it's okay to give out to the public. And so I started making hand sanitizer. I give it out to my U.S. postal carriers here in town. I give it out to a lot of local businesses. They in turn have promised to not sell it. They're dispensing it for free. I give it out to people I know that work at the hospital. I give it out to the pharmacists. I give it out to, and of course, my clients. Whenever I process, because technically I'm supposed to be closed right now, but because I'm making an essential material, I'm allowed to stay operational. Because the health department comes in, and they if they find like you're not supposed to be open, they shut you down. And if you keep going in and you're non-essential, you're in trouble. So fortunately, I'm still being able to process orders, because in with those orders, once again, I'm not selling it. I'm giving it away for free. And I sell to doctors, by the way. I sell to dermatologists, plastic surgeons, estheticians, medical spas, anything that's medical oriented. So when they place an order, they get bottles of hand sanitizer too. So, thank goodness I'm able to stay operational. Don't get me wrong, it's slowed down significantly, my business, but at least I still am able to be operational, and it's a blessing and my pleasure to be able to help the people of my country, my fellow countrymen. I would do anything. I love this country. I love this country. I appreciate this country. I think there's definitely ways that we can make it better. I know everybody complains about socialism, but to be honest with you, what's happening right now is one big socialism game. This is all socialism, except it's socialism for the rich. And I normally don't speak politics on the channel because it's not really my thing. But let me just read because I see LumaFusion here. So let me get back to that. I bought LumaFusion because of your tutorials. Oh, thank you. That's very sweet of you. Thank you so much for the videos and for being professional. Obrigado. Thank you, Portugal. Obrigado means thank you in Portuguese. Thank you very much for watching. So like I was saying, here's the problem with people that complain about socialism. People that are on Fox News or others, they don't like socialism. They believe in capitalism and the free marketplace. Well, here's a problem with that. You hate socialism when it's the government feeding people who are poor or poor children. You hate that. But the minute that something happens, You're bailing out million and billion dollar corporations. So these big corporations are taking our money. That's our money. They're taking that. So what they're able to do is they're able to privatize their profits, and they're able to socialize their losses on our dollar. So wait a minute, where's all these people who love Ayn Rand, who talk about capitalism and the free marketplace and embrace Ayn Rand? What about all that? Because if this is truly the free marketplace, we shouldn't be giving any businesses any bailouts. We should only be bailing out private citizens. These companies who are taking bailouts, and I mean, it's just disgusting. The people who are getting money, they should be ashamed of themselves. The only companies that should be bailed out are the mom and pops. How dare these, like the Lakers took money? The Lakers took money? Are you kidding me? The people are disgusting. Steak and Shake took money. A sushi company. Let me hit my thing again. I want to make sure the camera doesn't die again. A sushi restaurant chain that is in Japan. It's a Japanese company. They took bailout money. And the cruise ships, half of them are not even incorporated here in the United States, and they're taking bailout money. No. You either make it or you don't, okay? Sorry. And that's for like these big, huge corporations. They released the list of the names of the companies that took the bailout. Half of these guys are in trouble with the government. The one company was stealing money because they were overcharging the VA for skin graft material. It's just disgusting what people do. I'm telling you. It's just so frustrating to me. So anyway, back to Luma, because this is not a political channel. I rarely ever speak politics, but listen, one thing I will say is I'm Christian. I'm a Christian woman, and I live by my principles. Like I said, I live within my means. I make sure I pay my bills and I save money, but I just don't think it's right that there's so many greedy people, and it's just really scary that they don't want poor people to eat. They don't want poor people to have food stamps, but they want to get bailed out. It's just, I don't like that. I don't. And I don't like the fact that so many people go bankrupt because they become sick and they can't pay their medical bills or they don't have insurance. We're the United States. We're the best country in the world. We have the greatest minds here. Why have we so epically failed at that? Well, I know what it is. It's greed. It's greed. It's the greed of the insurance companies. It's the greed of big pharmaceuticals. It's just one thing after another. Our politicians have all been bought and paid for with this money, and it's very sad because there's so many people that are sick and die because they can't afford care. I mean, that should not be happening. Not in our great country, because we are. I'm just so upset now. Look what I've done. Now let me get back to it. I should probably edit. I should probably delete this live stream once it's down, because I hardly ever talk. I never talk politics on the thing. Hi Teresa, thank you for joining me live. I've actually been up here for a while, so I don't know how much longer I'm going to stay up, but I appreciate you guys for hanging out, everybody. Okay, on a lighter note, I would like to request you to make a video on extracting alcohol from sanitizers. Okay, you're very funny. I'm sure that's a joke, right, Crazy Sid? After all, it's not. It's because not realizing the power of human resources. My beekeeping is a small business, and I totally. Okay, so the bee lady, you straight up really are a bee lady then. Awesome. How are you doing? So do you sell to any stores? Do you have, do you go to a lot of farmers market and have a stand there? Is that how you sell your honey? I'm sure. I mean, unless you have a good deal, it would be nice to You know, could you imagine if you got to deal with like Whole Foods or something? That would be amazing. Or maybe you already do. Like, hey, the bee lady. Maybe you're in the store. Is it true, bee lady, that you really should buy local honey? That something about getting local honey is actually better for you? I'm sure you probably know why. But I've heard that rumor. So, yeah, so on a lighter note, my brother called me to his shop to cut his hair because he said he was looking like a caveman. And my brother is just one of those guys that he's a handsome guy. I would say out of my brothers, he's the most handsome. My brother Derek. I mean, my brothers, they're all good looking. My brother Ethan was a lot better looking when he was younger because he was thinner, and now I don't know, he's got to weigh like probably, I would say like 230 pounds maybe. He's up there. He put on a lot of weight. He was a lot better looking when he was younger, when he was thinner. Derek was just always good looking, consistently good looking. Doesn't matter what he looks, how much older he gets, he's just good looking. My brother Taju, he's good looking too, but I mean, if you looked at him, he looks American Indian. He doesn't look Polish. He looks like he's an American Indian, but he's good looking too. And my brother Taji wears his hair all back in just one ponytail. And so I had to go cut my brother Derek's hair. And I was so nervous because I didn't want to mess it up, because I was like, your wife is going to kill me if I mess his hair up. He's like, no, she won't. Don't worry about it. But I cut it. I did it. You guys, I'm not saying it came out great, but at least it came out okay. Like there was no bald spots on him at least. So let's say Dustin Fisher, I'm a new sub. Welcome aboard. I love your LumaFusion vids. I have a super small channel and trying to get better at videos. I'm sure you're not bad. So guys, go check out Dustin's channel, Dustin Fisher. He's doing some. Now, Dustin, what kind of videos are you making? Thank you, Dustin. The bee lady. So far, I have just been giving it away to church, family, and etc. Yes, local honey can solve allergies. That's why. Yes, I knew there was a reason. Off inhalers. I barter beeswax to folks who make salves, etc. They give me. Awesome. So that's good. So that's awesome. And God bless you for giving to churches, of course. Some of what they make I've sold at craft shows, but due to shipping, not selling far away and just stashing all over the farm. I hear you. It's hard to ship. I mean, the majority of my clients with my skincare company are here, and I see my hair is like sticking up in the light, but I don't know what to do to get it down. It's just like I have like a little alfalfa hair sticking up there. Oh, well. Yeah, so with my skincare company, the majority of my clients are here in the United States. So it's easy to just USPS everything. It's easy peasy. Using the flat rate boxes is inexpensive. I have to say that. But exporting is a total nightmare. I have a guy in the Cayman Islands. I can only use DHL to ship to him. Exporting to Canada is not that bad because, once again, that's USPS. There's still a lot of export documentation that you have to do, but I like it when people are local. So I understand shipping is a nightmare, a big nightmare. So, Shabazz, hello. I'm fine. I'm well. Thank you. How are you doing? Okay. And we have Not Alone. I'm a new sub too. Welcome aboard. Not top lead me to Bad Karma, and then Bad Karma lead me to you. Okay. So Bad Karma, yep, my buddy Anthony. He's been a sub for a while now, and he's a gamer. He makes his own videos too. It's funny because I always say my brother. So he tells everyone I'm his sister. I'm not really his sister. We call each other brother and sister because we're friends. So awesome. Does anybody have any questions about LumaFusion? Because here's the one thing that if there's something that you want to do within LumaFusion, I have to hit my shutter button again because I'm so worried that my camera's going to fail again. There's always workarounds. So someone suggested to me like stabilization. That's a big thing that people want inside of LumaFusion, but there's so many apps out there like DShake that you can use for stabilization. I would much rather, if there was one thing that I could add to LumaFusion, it would most definitely be masking and having that pen tool ability to, do corner pinning. This way, if we wanted to mask ourselves out and do a transition where it's into something else, we would have that ability if we had the pen tool. So that's it. That is like my one. If they could make that, I think there's pretty much really nothing that you wouldn't be able to do inside of LumaFusion that you couldn't do in those programs like Adobe Premiere and all that. So if that was just the one. And then somebody wants another thing, the speed ramping, but we already have speed ramping. You really, really, really can use speed ramping the way that they have it set up. I wish it was a little smoother, but if you do film in, like, let's say some of your B-roll, if you're filming it in 60 frames per second, you can make that look really good with speed ramping. And bear in mind, when you're speed ramping, you don't want to go fast. Like, you don't want to speed ramp somebody walking really fast, like how they would in Benny Hill. If you're speed ramping a person walking by, you want to drop that down to half speed, so slow-mo, so whoosh, whoosh, they're walking slow, and then bam, you speed ramp it back up to where they're walking normal speed. You wouldn't want to show somebody in fast motion. That looks ridiculous. You'd always want to slow it down. So I think at that aspect of it, I don't think speed ramping we need. I would like the masking. That's one thing though. And of course, everyone is begging for more transitions. I would say in the comment section, transitions was like the big want when they were directing the people in the discussion box. They wanted more transitions. So are there any questions here? Keyframes instead of having to recreate, moving the keyframes. See, I'm so used to keyframing. I can't, keyframing doesn't bother me. I keyframe the thing that I'm doing now, the project I'm working on now. There's a lot of keyframing. There's a lot of green screen. There's a lot of everything. And I'm still working on it because I feel like I haven't perfected it yet. And before I release the tutorial, I want it to be beautiful and seamless. And this way, when I do the tutorial, it's going to look absolutely amazing. It's part of, well, I'll try to explain it. Somebody's standing there and the camera is walking up to them. And when you're walking up to them, it looks like parts of the side are popping out and zooming out at you. So it's a lot of green screening. It's a lot of keyframing and things, but it's an awesome effect. And I saw it on someone else's channel. And like I said, what I do to get ideas and inspiration is I watch other people's channel. Like I watch YouTube all day long. I don't watch TV anymore. Like I'll watch something that I've taped because I watch it, like Homelands. I'll tape that and watch it. And now that's over, that stinks. I screen record something that I like, and then I go into LumaFusion, and then I recreate that through LumaFusion, and that's how I get a lot of ideas. And I saw this on someone's channel, and I was like, that is just the coolest thing ever. Like, I have to do that. That was absolutely amazing. I have to do that. So that's what I did, and I've been working on it. I've had to work out a few kinks because it's a difficult thing, but you guys, it is amazing. And if you added this into one of your videos, like if you just did this one thing and dropped it into Facebook or Instagram, you would get a lot of, it's just a beautiful effect. So hopefully I'll be able to pull it off. Hopefully. Any questions? So Jerome, are you the one that requested that I try that Emulse.io? And by the way, is that how you say it? Emulse.io? Because someone in my comments the other day, I think I might have mentioned DShake, and they're like, DShake is okay, but try this Emulse.io. So I went in, it was $7.99. I just purchased it, and I ran it through. There might be a slight improvement above D-Shake. So what I'm going to do is a tutorial where I have the two videos side by side. This way I can really see if that is truly better than D-Shake, because I do have other videos that I do want to run through a D-Shake because it needs to be stabilized a little better. So that would be good. Do you only use LumaFusion to edit videos? Yes, I only use LumaFusion. So here's the thing. People constantly want something that's like amazing and bigger and better. Like you're always thinking of these different effects that you can put into your videos and different ways that you can do transitions, and all of that is cool. But when you watch someone else's video, like I told everyone, I'll type his name in the comment section again, but Brandon Lee is an amazing creator, and he is just incredible. And all of his transitions are done in camera, following different effects like an elevator transition, a swish transition, all these different in-camera transitions. And it's matching movement, it's matching color, it's matching texture. So a lot of it is just like that. Not necessarily done in post, but done in camera. So when you get to that point where you're doing a lot of your effects in camera, you don't need a lot to do in post. You need very basic things to make that video look good. And I know there are some people, I've watched videos where they have real cool effects, like, yeah, that was awesome. But people tend to overdo it. So when there's something easy to be done, when you have an easy transition, is it hitting a button and making a transition happen, you guys, people can overdo it. They can easily overdo it. Then all of a sudden your video is looking less professional and more like a carnival ride. Like sometimes there's so many transitions in videos that I feel like it's Blair Witch. Like I'm getting sick watching it because they've done just entirely too much. Remember, it's always about the story. You don't necessarily have to have 50,000 different transitions to make your video interesting. Just try using no transitions. Try to put a story together where there is absolutely no transitions and see what you can do there. Because if you watch TV, how many TV shows have transitions? They don't. They do jump cuts from one scene to another. It's just like that. Every now and then you might see something with a transition, maybe, or like the Star Wars transitions where it just swipes in from the right, and that's that. It is more about the storytelling than it will ever be about the way that you cut it. And, well, of course, when I say cut it, I don't mean the way you piece it together to tell a story. I mean the actual edits of it, your transitions, the way you cut between scenes. And, I just got this new laptop, and the way that the comments pop up, they block out my comment section. So Tim is so nice. He's always so, telling people to like my videos and stuff. Thank you, Tim. You're awesome. But yes, so I only use LumaFusion because that's really all I need it for. Just making obviously content for my skincare company. And I helped somebody out. They were selling houses, so I did a few different real estate videos for them for the different houses that they were doing. And of course, when somebody's your friend, you want to do a good job and you don't want to charge them anything because you feel awkward asking your friends for money. So it's always like, okay, well, here I spent like 4 hours 2 hours filming it, 4 hours editing it. You just buy me lunch, because it's hard to ask people, your friends, for money. And first of all, I wouldn't want to take it from them, but you guys do stuff for friends. You know what I mean? You want to take money from your friends. That's just a terrible thing to do. I mean, obviously, if that's your living, then you need some way to generate income. That's what you do. But, if that's not what you do and you're able to help a friend out and, you have money and they don't, you can't ask your friends for money. You got to help out. You got to be a doobie. You got to be a doobie. And who knows what a doobie is? If you know what a doobie is, you're probably as old as I am. So, yeah, I think that was pretty much all I wanted to touch on. So once again, in the comment section, I'm going to write, check out these channels, because I really want to make sure that these people get their due credit. Brandon Lee and Bethany Acorn. So Bethany Acorn, once again, if you missed it, she is amazing in Affinity Photo, and she uses the overhead camera like I use. It's easy to follow along like that, and that's really why I started my LumaFusion channel, because I could not follow along with the other tutorials that were just screen record or screen capture. It was just, I felt like I was playing whack-a-mole with my eye, like, okay, where are they going? What are they hitting? Am I missing something? I can't. Where did they just pull that menu out from? That's a fly-out thing. How did they get to there? It was just too hard for me. So once I mastered LumaFusion, I was like, you know, my girlfriend said to me, you should make the videos with an overhead camera. You know, you've learned all this stuff so far. You want to be able to help people out. You always said you wish that somebody had this overhead camera. Why don't you do it? And I was like, oh, okay, maybe I will. And that's how the channel really got started. So thanks to my girlfriend for giving me the, it's funny, she gave me the inspiration to start it, and she has not watched not one single video. She doesn't watch any of my videos, which is a bummer. Another bummer thing is that she is camera shy. She does not like to be in front of the camera. So here's my difficult position, okay? Being that she is working from home right now, she works for a big company. I'd rather not say who she works for. She works for a big company, and she's working from home right now, and she probably will be working home, I would say, until maybe even late May. That's how long these people are going to have everyone working home from. She has all this time here, and I want to do like all of these things, like how Daniel Schiffer did, and all of these other guys, where they do this amazing B-roll of somebody cooking, somebody mixing a cocktail. Like, I'm like asking my girlfriend, I'm like, let's do this. She's like, no, please. Oh my God. I'm showing her the video. I'm like, look what they did together. Look, this girl, look, she made a whole little graham cracker village. This one, look, all these amazing things. I can't get this chick to crack an egg. What? It's depressing. Because I want to be able to do that. It would be awesome. Instead of just only doing LumaFusion tutorials, I would also like to make a tutorial on this is how you would make this amazing sequence. But it's hard to do if you don't have something to film. I mean, certainly I could call my friends, but here's the thing. I've not officially told anyone that I have a YouTube channel. Like my nephew knows, because he's on YouTube too, and he has a channel that he's had videos that have had millions of views. Like, he's rock solid. He's in film school right now, and he'll be done soon because they're closed. I think he's just finishing up stuff online, but he'll be officially graduated from this amazing film school, and he's super talented. So I shared with him because I wanted him to be able to give me tips on certain things. So I did share that with him. And I told my dad, because I tell my mom and dad everything. I tell them everything, which is crazy. But as far as my friends, nobody knows I have a YouTube channel. Other family members, nobody knows outside of them that I have a YouTube channel. Because I guess it's that thing, you're insecure. You don't want people to, maybe judge you, watch it and think that you're, maybe I look stupid, or that inner fear that holds you back from everything. Like, my girlfriend's telling me that I should do the Luma Touch Summit. I don't know if you guys were here from the beginning, but they invited me to do the Luma Touch Summit. And it's like a big thing. And I just don't feel like I can do that. I don't feel like I can do that, because I just don't feel like I can. Because I feel like all the people that are in there are people that are serious journalists, cinematographers, people that are, they had Henny the Business there. They had iJustine. They had Leonor Suarez. These people are like all serious journalists and cinematographers, and I'm not there. So what am I going to talk about? How I make LumaFusion tutorials and how I use it casually for, I mean, well, I suppose I could talk about that, video marketing, but I just don't feel like I'm there. So that's why I don't want to do it. So my family already thinks I am nuts because I play with bees. That's funny. Yeah, I love Daniel Schiffer too. He makes amazing things. And it's so, how many of you guys have somebody in your life that you feel you would be able to create with? Because there's that gap with a creative person where you can be as creative as you want to be on solo projects. But what if you want to collaborate with someone? What if you want to create something and you have this amazing thing in mind, and there's the partnership is just not there because either one, the person doesn't really care, doesn't want to be bothered, and is camera shy, or all of the above. Like, that's the problem I have. You know, like, she does not care, doesn't want to be involved, bothered, and is camera shy. All of that all together, all in one. Oh, did you ever just want to pack up your life and just walk right on out of it? I can't be the only one that feels that way sometimes. So, oh, Iron Fox, yeah. So funny, Iron Fox. I'm telling you today, I must have gotten 30 minutes worth of footage of my cats. And cats really are good ones to practice on because they're so unpredictable. So especially when you're pulling focus, cats are a good subject to pull focus on because they're always on the move. You never know when they're going to move, especially if you have your camera stopped all the way down. Like, I was using my lens with the speed booster on it, so that dropped the aperture down to 1.2. That's a very thin line of being in focus. Like, it's a razor thin. So trying to keep them in focus, it is really good practice. If you ever want to practice pulling focus, I recommend, getting that aperture way down as low as you can and practicing on cats because they are an impossible subject to keep in focus. So now the reason I have to squint is because I normally wear glasses to see. So that's why I'm always having to squint. Okay. Thank you very much for your work. I sent you a hug from Bolivia. Thank you, Oscar. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you very much. Okay. My uncle used to be awkward towards camera, but after a while he played along with being around camera really well. I think once you break the barrier, you'll be fine. So yeah, she's never going to be in front of the camera. And what stinks is, I don't know, it's still hard to talk about. I lost a cat named Marvin, and I had a lot of footage of him on my camera, but she made me erase it because she was in it. And now he's dead. And now that footage is just gone because she was in it, and I had to erase it. I'm like, remember all those cute videos I had, and I had to erase them because you didn't like them? Okay, sometimes it's about you. Wife and daughter. Oh no. Larry, I am so sorry to hear that. Oh man, that's terrible. How are you doing? There's nothing worse than that, my friend. There's nothing worse than that. I am so sorry. How are you making it through? Lucky Larry said, I used to be a machinist. I just got hooked on your videos and I have a new hobby. Well, I'm glad I can help you in some way because man, I'm so sorry to hear that. There's nothing worse than that. There's nothing worse than that. Okay, Dustin. I'll keep watching your videos because I need help. You need to teach me everything. LOL. I have a lot of videos. If you go to my playlist, there's a lot of videos to watch. I probably have like 50 LumaFusion videos. Seriously. Hello from Chi-Town. Oh, yeah, I feel so bad for Larry. Jeez. Larry, I'm so sorry to hear that. There's nothing worse than that. Brother, there is nothing worse than that. There's nothing worse than losing a child. Nothing. Nothing's worse than that. So, changing subjects now because it's awful. I feel, Larry, I feel it. And your name is Lucky Larry. I feel like you really need to change your name. Is Procreate a good alternative to Affinity Photo? So I feel like Affinity. Okay, so Procreate. I think Procreate is like $10, and Affinity Photo is 20. I would say for the extra $10, Affinity Photo to me is amazing. There's just nothing like it. So go to Bethany Acorn's channel and just, like I said, she just recently started to use the overhead camera where you can follow along and see everything that, she's doing. But in the past, if you look down her video list, there is like an amazing library of things that she has created. It's incredible what you can do inside of Affinity Photo. It's and secondly, I think they're two completely different things because I feel like, with Affinity Photo, I don't know if you can make LUTs with Procreate. Does anybody even know if you can do that? Because I think I used like somehow a free version of Procreate that I didn't use that much, and I dumped it because I got Affinity Photo. But so I feel like Procreate is more for like hand drawing artistically in that sort of way. And I feel like Affinity Photo is more of, it's more for pictures. Like Procreate's for drawing, Affinity Photo's for pictures. That's how I feel. I could be wrong. So someone is from Russia. Hello, Russia. So yeah, that's what I think. And if you are interested in learning about Affinity Photo, please check out Bethany Acorn because her channel is absolutely amazing. And I just lost the picture again. I know. Hold on a second. Now I will be... No. Nope. Wasn't me. I don't know why it went out. Maybe I timed out. I don't know why my camera is black over here. Maybe I've talked too long? I don't know why the camera went out. That was weird. Sorry about that. I thought it was me. I hit the shutter button again, but it must have been something, a little bit of a disconnect with YouTube because when I've been hitting the shutter button every now and then to make sure that doesn't happen. So it definitely wasn't me. Okay, now I'm back. Hello. Okay, well, just in time, the video came back. Just in time for me to say, I'm just about to peace out. And there I have that alfalfa hair again. I don't know what to do. It's crazy. Oh, well, what am I going to do? So listen, you guys, I appreciate each and every one of you for checking out my live stream. Before I end, I would just, of course, I'm going to make a ton more Luma Fusion videos. I don't know if you just came in, but I'm working on something right now that's amazing. But unfortunately, I'm making hand sanitizer. So my business is open and running and operational, and I'm crazy busy. It is so hard to do anything because I don't have time. Like I barely had time to set this up. Like I felt like I should get a video out this week, and I just knew I was not going to get a tutorial done. So I'm like, man, I'll just go live for a couple minutes, answer some questions, give a little bit of information. This way I can just touch base with you guys. And I like talking with you guys because it's awesome the way that I like how in real time you can answer people's questions. And I also wanted to tell that girl that won the microphone, Great Moblaze. Listen, Great Moblaze, you gotta send me your shipping address or else by tomorrow morning, if I don't have that baby by 10 a.m., I'm gonna ship it out to someone else. Probably Tim, because he's so nice. I probably should have let you in the first place, Tim, seriously. But she did have kind of a sad story. I kind of felt like maybe she was not financially well off and like she needed it for her kids. So I was going to give it to her. But listen, if she got a cutoff date, 10 a.m. tomorrow. If she does not, you're going to have to send me your address, Tim, because if you even need a microphone, do you need it? I got that toner microphone for free. So I'd like to give it away because I don't need yet another microphone. Like I have a ton of microphones. I have this one. I have two different. So hopefully it sounds like a $200 microphone. Does it? Does it sound like a $200 microphone? I certainly hope it does, because that's what I paid for it. So, okay. Yeah, I don't. Now, how would I invite somebody to be a moderator? Like, I don't even know how to do that, because this is my second live stream. So if you know how to do that, okay, it says, I just got an error from YouTube. They're about to kick me out. It says YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. So I think what I'm going to do is probably just end the stream here and just say to everyone, thank you so much for joining me. I really, really appreciate you. I thank you for continuing to watch my videos. I know I haven't been uploading as frequently as I have in the past, but I'm sure you can understand. I've been really busy. My company is busy with making that hand sanitizer, getting it out to everyone, as many people as we possibly can, and just, trying to process orders and just make money to continue like everybody else. I understand. And for all of those of you who are sheltered in place and are having a hard time financially, I pray for you. I hope everything's going to be okay. I pray for your health. I hope you don't get this thing, because it is so crazy contagious. I don't think people understand just how contagious it is. I just don't think people understand. And, okay, Tim, I see. Click on my name and it gives you the option. Oh, so let's try it. Okay. So by those three dots, it says, oh, okay. Got you, Tim. You're now a moderator for my channel. Thanks. See, I didn't even know how to do that. I stink up the place. Hopefully, what everyone can do, what they should do, is just across the board say to all of the mortgage companies, people don't have to pay the mortgage for 3 months. Tack it on at the end of the loan, and that will be that. You'll get your money just eventually. Okay? Yeah, those greedy banks, they got plenty of money. I don't understand how these greedy banks make all this money throughout the years. They make billions and billions and billions of dollars a year. They can't save a penny. We have to bail them out because they can't save a penny. I'm telling you, I'm disgusted. And they don't want to give poor people food stamps. It bothers me because, oh, you know who I really like? Mark Cuban. And he gave such a great interview on Fox News. It was wonderful. The way that he said, I'm paying everybody his minimum wage. If you work for Mark Cuban, your minimum wage is $15 an hour. And he said he believes that's what the minimum wage should be, because he's a multi-billionaire. And he said, I don't want not a single one of my employees being on the federal dole. So in other words, nobody that works for me should be on food stamps. Nobody who works for me should be on any kind of Medicaid or anything like any social assistance. I don't want that, because I'm a billionaire. I should be taking care of the people who work for me. And that's the way it should be. People need to make a living wage in this country. I've been saying that for years. I've been progressive before progressive was even a thing. People need to make a livable wage, and that minimum wage should reflect a living wage. And I think the minimum living wage, considering what everybody's paying for rent, of course it depends on where you live, but I think $15 should be the minimum wage. That should be the minimum wage. I don't understand how people can go and work someplace and get $9 an hour. Like in this town where I live, the most inexpensive place is a studio apartment, and that's $1,000. That's how expensive it is to live in this town in New Jersey. How does somebody that makes under $10 an hour, how do they pay rent? How do they buy food? How do they have a car payment? I cannot. That's why you see these people having to work 2 and 3 jobs. It's so unfair. It's not right. Growing up, my dad worked. He worked hard to support us. He worked 2 full-time jobs, as a matter of fact, so that my mother could stay home and take care of us. My dad is a good man. He's the kind of guy that he would literally wear his sneakers out. There would be holes in them before he would buy a new pair, because he wanted to make sure we had everything we needed before he bought anything for himself. If his jeans got a hole in them, he would have my mother patch them or sew them. He was one of the most, he's still alive. Thank God he's still alive. He is the most selfless man that I've ever met in my life. To this day, he still gives. He takes such good care of my mother, who is bedbound because she has rheumatoid arthritis and she's in a wheelchair. And basically, she's so sick right now, she's bedbound. I hope she doesn't have coronavirus, but I mean, she sounds awful. She probably does. And he just takes such great care of her. I mean, he's just one of those guys that's absolutely amazing. And now I got off track again. This is my problem, guys. I was talking about livable wage and I wound up on my dad. But my dad is an amazing man and I love him so much. I can never pay him back for everything he gave to us as kids. You know, we never had money. We grew up very poor. My dad did the best that he could. And my mother always said that's the man that you know is not the man I married, because he was drafted into Vietnam. And guess what? When you're poor and you get drafted, you go. You don't have anybody writing you a note saying, hey, you got bone spurs. Hey, your gut's not right. Hey, you have polyps. Whoops, you can't go off to war. You know, when you're poor and you get drafted, you go. So he went to Vietnam, and he was very seriously injured. And, you know, back then they didn't understand what brain injuries were. You know, if you looked okay, if they x-rayed you and you were fine, that was that. But he sustained a brain injury, my poor dad. And my mother always said, that's not the man I married. But my dad did the best that he could for us. And he worked very hard to take care of us. And he instilled in us a good hard work ethic. I mean, all of my siblings and I, we all own our own companies. We're all, we're just hardworking people. And we've risen above many challenges. And it's all because of my dad. There you go. And my grandma. She was the sweetest lady, you guys. Oh, I always pull this picture down. Hold on. Oh, my grandma. She was a saint, you guys. I'm trying to look at the screen, but I'm telling you right now, the screen is so far delayed. The sweetest lady in the face of the earth, and that's my pop-up. And he was too good looking for his own good. We'll leave it at that. And my grandma was just the sweetest lady, and she was just so kind and giving and loving, and she lived to the ripe old age of 98. God bless her. And now she's in Father's heavenly kingdom, and hopefully on my day of judgment, hopefully I will be judged very gently so that I can be reunited with her and the rest of the clan up there, because I'm not worthy. I do know that. So, okay, outdoors in Maryland, because people lose their jobs when you're a small business and have you 4 people working for you, and you raise a wage to $15. Small business have a lot of overhead. Someone loses their job. Yeah, I agree. But here's the thing. When the economy picks up, because it will, if people are making $15 an hour, they're going to have a higher level of disposable income. And that's how we get the economy jump-started, not by giving rich people tax cuts, not by bailing out banks. I think that there should be a living wage. I think it's wrong that people work hard and they still have to rely on food stamps and Medicaid and other social programs, where it's embarrassing to be on those things. Like, I will stand in line at the grocery store and I see that people are embarrassed to pull out their cards because it's one of those, I guess, food stamp cards. You know, they're always looking around to see who's going to watch them pull out their card. And I feel bad for those people. But I'm a small business owner, and I understand what it would mean if I had to raise, well, I'll be honest with you, that pretty much everyone working for me is almost making that much anyway. And even if I had to do $15 an hour, I would gladly do it, even if it meant for me to take a cut. Because, like I said, I've always been very frugal when it comes to money. I said that earlier. I don't have a car payment. I don't have credit card debt. I mean, I have debt, not debt. credit cards that you put stuff on for your company and pay off at the end of the month, but no rotating debt. But you have to, as a business owner, you have to make decisions on, first thing you have to do is sit down and decide, what are your personal ethics and why are you starting this business, and what is it you're trying to accomplish besides being successful? And if it is employing people, if you're not just a business that is self-sustaining, it's just you and you're working at like photography or videography. If it's something like that, what is your personal ethics? Like, can you have somebody working for you full time, working their butt off, and they need food stamps? Like, what are your personal ethics? So then I feel like if everybody did that across the board, and of course, even if that means that let's say a small business who maybe could not necessarily afford to pay someone $15 an hour, does that then mean that you should get a grant so that you would be able to pay your employees $15 an hour? And then at the end of it, when your business picks up, you could pay back, or if it's a grant, it's just gifted to you, or a loan. But I'm telling you, if it's just economics, it's the same as I can't tell you how many times the economy, when it's a Republican president, goes down. And the economy, when it's a Democrat, goes up. And it's because they give to different people. Where Democrat tax cuts go to the middle class and the lower class people. Republican president, trickle down. No, it's not trickle down. Don't forget, when Trump inherited this economy, it was the Obama economy that was on cruise control. It was already going up. He always says it was such a mess when he got it, but I'm sorry, it's just not. When you're an educated person and you understand economics and you're a business owner, so you pay attention to these things, you read the business papers, you look at everything, you see a lot. There's not much that you could turn on a channel and have news lie to you and you would fall for it. When you keep yourself informed, you know what's going on. I don't have to turn on a news program and have somebody lie at me and believe it. No, I know what's going on. I know what the economy looked like when this president took over. I know what the economy looks like now. So here's the thing. My brothers love Donald Trump. They love Donald Trump. And I said to them, because, they're hypocrites. The Trump people, I feel like, listen, I'm serious. I should not be saying this, but listen, they're hypocrites. And I said to my brothers, if this were if this were Hillary Clinton in office and this pandemic had hit, you'd be blaming her. They're like, oh yeah, totally. I'm like, but yet you're not blaming Trump. Nope. No. I'm like, don't you see the hypocrisy of that? Do you not see that? But they don't care. So there's some people that, will never see facts. They just won't. They never see facts. Like my brothers. Oh, they drive me crazy. And when I cut his hair, you don't know how tempted I was to just buzz a big line down his head, because we were talking politics the whole time. But he's my brother. I love him. I wouldn't do that. But listen, you guys, thank you very much for joining me. I thank you very much for subscribing to my channel. Please don't be offended with my politics. I probably should never have started to talk politics, and my cat's just busting into the... Pon, come here, honey. Come here, Pon. Let's see if he'll come over. But, yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me. I appreciate you. It says, do not let that tear your family apart. Oh, no. Just ride it out. Yeah, it's funny because even though they're extreme hypocrites and we tease each other back and forth, I would never get mad at my brothers for their beliefs. Although I do correct them a lot, because sometimes they say things that are just, factually untrue. So I like to, inform them about that, but then they'll laugh about it. But no, we never fight about politics. That's one thing I never do. Whenever we joke with each other or talk about it, it always ends up in a joke, because my brothers are, it's hard to explain them because they're very charming. They're the kind of guys that they're not even trying to be funny, and they're so funny. Pon, Come here. Okay, I guess he doesn't want to come around. So here's where I will sign off. Too late. Cats out the bag, both literally and figuratively. Yeah, seriously. Oh, yeah, both Republicans and Democrats are equally bad. See, there I agree. Because if not for how corrupt our politicians all are, we would be able to get stuff done, like universal health care. And, I'm so sick and tired of people say, oh, you want free health care? No, we pay for it. Like right now, all of this money could be going to universal health care instead of bailing out millionaires and billionaires. It's our money. We work hard for it. Why should I have to bail out a banker while he's driving around in his Mercedes and I have a 2002 Toyota Avalon? I literally paid $500 for that car. That's what I paid for that. Because like I said, my brothers are mechanics. They're like, hey, there's a good deal down here. Dude selling a car, $500, you want it? I'm like, yeah. So I bought the car for $500. That's literally what I paid for my car. Okay, and Aaron, I'm just about to sign out. Shucks. You guys, Aaron Anderson. His channel's name is Aaron J. Anderson. Check out his channel. He's been doing so many awesome videos on how to get amazing B-roll and do these special effects. The video that you had done with the first person perspective was awesome, Aaron. The special effects that you put into there was absolutely amazing. And I'm so jealous that you get help from your wife. I was telling everybody before, because this one's been long. I need to cut this out soon. It's so hard to create when your significant other, it doesn't really want to cooperate. I want to do all these things, like a Daniel Schiffer inspired video. Everybody's making cocktails and filming it and building gingerbread houses, and Rob's woman made a chocolate village, and I can't get my chick to crack an egg. It's not right. One, she does not want to be bothered. Two, she doesn't really want to. She's camera shy, I guess. She doesn't want to be in front of the camera. So what are you going to do? But yes, so if you guys do not know Aaron J. Anderson's channel, he's a gifted photographer, and his wife is always in his photographs, and she's absolutely beautiful. So in case you like to look at beautiful women, go check out Aaron's channel. Hey, Anthony, how are you doing, friend? I'm sorry, Anthony. It's so funny. I've been on here for a long time now, and I've been on so long, I've touched on many unfortunate topics that I really should not have talked about, politics being one of them. So I am going to try to steer clear of that, because that was a mistake. I shouldn't have talked about that, because, so many people have so many different opinions. But I just will say I don't like any politicians. They're all corrupt. I think we can all agree on that. But I thank you so much for joining me here. Don't forget, if you're wanting affinity photo tutorials with an overhead camera, check out Bethany Acorn. If you're just making stuff with a phone, like I said, check out Brandon Lee. He just made an incredible tutorial showing you how to use your iPhone and how to stabilize it. He had a really good trick for stabilizing your iPhone. And of course, Aaron J. Anderson is always awesome. I like a lot of the stuff that he does. And by the way, Aaron J. Anderson gave me my first shout out on YouTube. The first shout out I ever got was from Aaron. And my girlfriend and I were eating sushi, and I saw his thumbnail and I thought it was a tripod. And I was looking for a tripod that he was about to review. It wound up being just a light stand. But I was watching it, and then all of a sudden, he's like, there's this girl I want to recommend. It's a hard name to pronounce. And my girlfriend said to me, I bet you he's going to say your name. And I was like, no, he's not going to. And then all of a sudden, he said my name, and he started playing my video. And we were like high-fiving and jumping up. It was a very memorable moment. Thank you very much, Aaron. But so, Anthony, I'm so sorry, bud. I'm about to peace out. But I do appreciate all of you for joining me, and I thank you so much that you guys have been a part of my fam, my community, my channel. I love talking with you guys, and it means everything to me that you guys always tune in and have my back, and really, thank you very much. And that's it. And I hope that you all stay very healthy. Please, my God, please wash your hands for 20 seconds. Please take care of yourselves. Please wear a mask. Please wear a mask. You don't understand how important it is to wear a mask. Please wear protective eyewear because you don't understand how important it is to protect your eyes. So just quick, your T-zone is your point of entry, okay? If you're not protecting those areas, you do have the potential of being exposed to the coronavirus because, number one, there's something called fecal-oral transition. That's where somebody goes, number two, they wipe themselves, they don't do a great job, and they don't wash their hands. Now you're having smear transmission. Of course, we already all know about that. But the way that you're going to get this it's mostly contagious by what's called respiratory droplets. And this is what I had to explain, how I had to train my staff when I was teaching everybody to process the orders and how now we were sanitizing all of the products before we ship them out. These respiratory droplets are absolutely terrifying. They're in the air everywhere. When people speak, you release little microbial size of expectorant from your mouth. Some people speak and you can see it. You can see stuff flying out of their mouths. Other people, they speak and maybe you don't see anything, but there's stuff being just thrown out of their mouth. Not only if they cough, everybody's talking about if somebody actively coughs when they have coronavirus, but when somebody speaks, they're releasing these respiratory droplets. So if you've ever sat in a room and the sunshine is just cascading in and it's beautiful and you're just looking at the glory of this beautiful world that God made, and then you see all these little things in the air and you're like, I got dust. It's looking pretty dusty in here. Yes, some of that may be dust, but a lot of that are respiratory droplets. That's how small they can be. They are small enough that respiratory droplets can stay airborne for 3 hours. So somebody's talking that has coronavirus, or they cough, or something. Those respiratory droplets can stay airborne for 3 hours. Now you're walking through ShopRite, or Publix, or Winn-Dixie, or the Piggly Wiggly, or Walmart. In that same spot where that person who is corona positive coughed or talked without a mask, you walk through it, you're not covering your mouth, your nose, and your eyes. If you have a mask on, you're helping, but that can still weave through that mask. So if you can wear 2 masks, the better. Your eyes, if some of that stuff goes in your eyes, the way that this particular virus is shaped and hooked, that gets into your eyes, you're going to get it. So I think that, it's a shame that all of these press conferences, nobody really sat down, and probably Anthony's texting me. Anthony, did you just text me? They really should have given a really good tutorial on just how contagious this thing is and exactly how you can get it. Because I'm telling you, the respiratory droplets are the most terrifying thing to me. To think that somebody can cough in the aisle of a supermarket and 2 hours later I walk through it and now I can get it because my eyes weren't covered. Maybe I have a mask on, but my eyes weren't covered. So now I can get it. So please let that be a lesson, okay? Cover your eyes. Yes, your mask is important, but cover your eyes as well. So if you have safety goggles or shop goggles where the sides are covered, or even swimming goggles, the better. If you can get those babies totally sealed, the better. Because you guys, it's serious. It's that, right? I live in a very small town. Our hospital is busting at the seams, and we have been sheltered in place for almost 2 months. That's how long New Jersey has been sheltered in place for. Our hospital is completely busting at the seams. And the youngest person on a ventilator right now is 17 years old. So to all of you who think you're young, healthy, you're in good shape, it's not going to touch you, think again, because if it can touch a 17-year-old who's in the prime of their lives, it can touch anyone, okay? So please cover everything, not just a mask, but your eyes as well. And like I said, swimming goggles, doesn't care. It doesn't matter how crazy you look. You know what? Because people who think you're crazy, my brother and I went down to see my mother in February. We were the only people on that plane with a mask. Only people. And they looked at us like we're crazy. I bet they think of me now. They're probably like, hey, remember those people from the plane? They were right. So listen, I am going to bail out of here because it's been too long. It's been too long. I've gone on so many tangents. God alone only knows the things I've talked about. I don't even want to go back and rewatch this. I'm not going to put a thumbnail. I may even delete this. I'm not sure. But I thank you so very much for joining me, and I hope you guys stay well, stay safe. You know, take care of one another. Do what you can for the elders. Go shopping for grandma and grandpa or your elderly neighbors. And I appreciate each one of you for being part of my community. It means a lot, you guys. I'm like can you believe I have like over 5,000 subscribers? I haven't done a 5,000 subscriber giveaway yet. I really need to. So Tim, you know my email address. It's my name, TammySipnewski@gmail. Send me your address. If this chick does not email me by 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, that microphone is yours because it needs to go. It needs to go to someone who needs it, okay? So I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for joining me on this live stream. I appreciate you. And thank you so much for being part of my community. And I will continue to pray for you guys that you all stay safe, okay? I got to go because right now I'm getting hot flash. Yeah, I'm that old. All right, guys, well, take care. Thank you so much for joining me. And until next time, wear your sunblock and wash those filthy hands.